The Airbus A380, a marvel of modern engineering and the largest passenger aircraft ever built, was destined to redefine air travel. With its sprawling double-deck design, it stands as an icon of modern aviation. Yet, despite its strengths, the A380 never won the hearts of U.S. airlines. So, why it can't conquer the U.S. sky, and did America miss out on an opportunity to redefine air travel? Let's find out the reason in today's episode. The Airbus A380 was launched to create the world's largest passenger aircraft to meet the growing demand for global air travel. This aircraft was designed to carry a large number of passengers that can be up to over 850 in a maximum configuration, providing superior comfort and amenities while reducing the cost per seat for airlines. The aircraft was also intended to be a symbol of Airbus's technological prowess and manufacturing strength, directly competing with the Boeing 747, which had dominated the large aircraft market for decades. Since its introduction in 2007, Airbus has sold a total of 251 A380. However, market demand did not meet initial expectations, and only a limited number of airlines ordered this aircraft. Emirates is the largest and most important customer of the King, with 123 aircraft in their fleet, accounting for nearly half of all produced. Although the A380 received some attention at its launch, it faced significant challenges in convincing other airlines to place large orders. Due to a decline in orders and market demand, Airbus decided to cease production of the A380 in 2021. The final King of the Skies was delivered to Emirates on December 20th, 2021, marking the end of the production program for the world's largest aircraft. Thank you so much for following until this part. We appreciate your support. Help this content reach more aviation enthusiasts by like and share the video, and help us improve our channel by subscribe to us. Now, let's move on to the next part to explore the reason why U.S. airlines haven't intended to order A380. Why have U.S. airlines never ordered this gigantic wide-body aircraft? First, there is no major hub. The A380 is truly suited for markets dominated by a single hub. Firstly, it can carry up to over 850 passengers in a maximum configuration, but it usually carries about 525, making it an ideal choice for markets with high passenger volumes, where many passengers are concentrated in a single hub for connecting flights. Airlines can use this aircraft to transport a large number of passengers through these hubs without needing to increase the number of flights. Secondly, in markets where a single hub consolidates passengers from various cities, using the A380 helps reduce the number of flights needed while optimizing operating costs by filling more seats on the aircraft. This is particularly important at airports with limitations on the number of flights or gates. Additionally, major hubs often serve as crucial points for international flights. The King of the Skies allows airlines to serve a large number of international passengers transferring through the hub, maximizing profit on long-haul and high-demand routes, such as between continents. These characteristics make the Airbus jumbo jet an ideal choice for airlines operating in markets dominated by a single hub, where passenger concentration and cost optimization per flight are most important. Major airlines that have successfully operated the Airbus A380 include those that prioritize connecting passengers through a single global hub, such as British Airways with its hub at London Heathrow, Emirates at Dubai International, Etihad Airways at Abu Dhabi, and Singapore Airlines at Singapore Changi. In contrast to this operational style, in the US, major airlines like US Airlines, Delta Airlines, and United Airlines typically use a multi-hub model, where they operate several major hubs at large airports across the country. Instead of concentrating on a single hub like airlines in Europe or the Middle East, U.S. carriers distribute passenger traffic across multiple hubs. This makes the aircraft, which is designed to serve large volumes of passengers at a single hub, less suitable for their model. Additionally, the large domestic market and extensive network in the U.S. allow airlines to maintain high-frequency flights between major cities without needing to use large aircraft like the A380. With these challenges, it's understandable why U.S. Airlines does not focus as much on international connecting passengers as some other airlines do. This gap can certainly impact the number of passengers on long-haul international routes. High operating costs are a major reason the Airbus jumbo jet is less favored, especially in the U.S. Its 4 large engines consume a lot of fuel, making it costly, especially with fluctuating fuel prices. The aircraft needs high seat occupancy to be economical, which isn't always possible, leading to financial risks. Maintenance is expensive due to its size and complexity, and global support is challenging. Airports also face high costs for infrastructure upgrades. Compared to more fuel-efficient and lower-cost aircraft like the Boeing 787 and Airbus A350, the A380's operating costs make it less attractive to airlines. U.S. airlines prioritize high flight frequencies over large capacity. Instead of a few flights with big aircraft like the A380, they prefer multiple daily flights with smaller planes to offer more flexible schedules, especially for business travelers. This approach reduces financial risk and enhances customer experience by minimizing the impact of empty seats. The broad route network in U.S. hubs makes frequent, smaller aircraft more efficient and helps airlines maintain market share in a competitive environment. Overall, high flight frequencies offer U.S. airlines greater flexibility, better revenue optimization, and improved customer service compared to using large aircraft like the A380. Finally, one reason for this could be protectionism and the fact that this Airbus aircraft is a European aircraft, which might influence U.S. airlines' decisions not to order this aircraft. Protectionism may drive a preference for domestic products, leading American airlines to favor purchasing aircraft from domestic manufacturers like Boeing. This not only reflects a preference for supporting the national economy, but also relates to trade and political policies. The political and trade relationships between the U.S. and European aircraft manufacturing countries could also impact purchasing decisions. U.S. airlines might receive better support from domestic manufacturers in terms of maintenance, training, and technical support, reducing the appeal of buying aircraft from foreign manufacturers like Airbus. While protectionism is not the only factor, it could be an important reason why U.S. airlines choose aircraft from domestic manufacturers rather than from European manufacturers like Airbus. Additionally, the Boeing 747 has become a more popular choice among American airlines when a large capacity aircraft is needed compared to the Airbus A380. The main reason is that the Boeing aircraft has been widely used since the 1970s, with various flexible versions such as the Dash 8, allowing airlines to adjust their fleets based on specific needs. The extensive support and maintenance network for the 747, due to its long operational history and large number of aircraft, helps reduce operating costs and the complexity associated with fleet maintenance. In summary, the Queen offers the flexibility and technical support needed, making it a more suitable choice for U.S. airlines compared to the Airbus A380. So, what happens if A380 with twin engine? We will consider two potential engines. Trent XWB-97, designed for the Airbus A350-1000, which can provide thrust up to 97,000 pounds and offers good fuel efficiency, and the GE9X, designed for the Boeing 777X, which is a powerful engine providing thrust up to 100,000 pounds and high fuel efficiency. Both could be candidates for a two-engine A380. In your opinion, which engine might be more suitable for this purpose? Alternatively, a more feasible scenario might be the A380F version, a freighter variant of this aircraft. China once revealed plans to transform the A380 into a cargo aircraft in response to the increasing demand for freight. In this scenario, China proposed an ambitious plan that captured the attention of all aviation analysts due to its boldness. The plan is expected to mark a positive shift, taking the aviation industry to new heights. China aims to convert this aircraft from a large passenger aircraft into a cargo plane, alongside other specific goals. This ambitious plan has garnered significant interest from industry experts who are eager to see the implementation process. Expanding the use of advanced composite materials, redesigning the wings, and incorporating the latest generation or even better engines currently under development along with other improvements could make a new version of the A380 feasible. Scaling down the production rate to fewer units per month or year to have a lower order backlog from the start could be a strategy. If demand increases, Airbus could scale up production as needed, rather than the build and they will order approach, where overall costs and investment might exceed demand over time. What else? The A380 was never designed with a dedicated cargo capability, unlike the 747, which was initially designed as a cargo aircraft with passenger transport as an afterthought. This means that converting old King of the Skies into freighters is not feasible, which is why accountants depreciated their capital costs so quickly. So, what about an extended version? If such a version were to be developed, it would likely face competition from the 777X. The 777X is complete and just awaiting certification. There would indeed be competition if the King were to make a comeback. The fact that this Boeing aircraft has already received up to 481 orders, despite not yet being certified by the FAA or EASA and still undergoing testing, underscores the high expectations and preference from airlines for the largest passenger aircraft currently being produced. The Airbus A380 is the largest aircraft ever built, a bold symbol of ambition that promised a new era for global aviation. Yet in the United States, home to airline giants and the world's largest aviation market, the A380 was never truly welcomed. No domestic carrier ever ordered it. No airport took the initiative to build because of it. And no one in America ever really needed it. But why was such an engineering marvel denied? And now, as the aircraft makes a surprising comeback, could this finally be its golden era? It is the boldest declaration the aviation industry has witnessed in decades. The Airbus A380, a double-decker beast, a symbol of boundless ambition. Just a glance at the numbers feels like we're talking about an unbelievable marvel. A maximum takeoff weight of 1.2 million pounds, a cruising altitude of 43,000 feet, and 85,000 gallons of fuel tucked beneath its wings. But don't let its size fool you. This jumbo jet is astonishingly agile and smooth, controlled by a fly-by-wire system so advanced it leaves even engineers in awe. And this is the ultimate highlight, the inside. Nearly 6,000 square feet of usable space, an unprecedented playground in the sky. Emirates turned its first-class cabin into a spa among the clouds, complete with luxurious showers. Singapore Airlines built private suites that rival five-star hotels. Etihad even created a 3-room apartment with a personal butler, something once only imagined in sci-fi sketches. This jumbo jet isn't just a step forward. It's a giant leap away from the outdated conventions of aircraft interiors. And then, the A380 continued to defy the normal standards. While most of the aviation industry prioritized profit, Airbus posed a provocative question. What if we put the passenger first? Lower cabin pressure, minimized vibrations, and an interior so quiet it feels like gliding through clouds on a whisper. This wasn't a marketing gimmick, it was a physiological triumph. Surveys showed passengers noticeably felt the difference and were willing to pay extra just to fly on the A380, even when the seats were identical to those on other aircraft. The A380 isn't just a huge aircraft, it's a powerful argument by Airbus for the future of air travel. As mega airports like Heathrow, JFK, and Tokyo became choked by slot restrictions, Airbus offered a cold, precise solution. If you can't increase the number of flights, increase the number of people per flight. This Airbus jumbo jet was built for the hub and spoke model, where each takeoff carries an entire small city. In every aspect, engineering, vision, passenger experience, the A380 is not merely a plane. It is a declaration, a dream, a legend of metal in the sky. And yet, just as the A380 exploded onto the scene with admiration from around the world, American carriers quietly turned their backs. So what made America's sky giants, such as Delta, United, and American, all turn their backs on a revolutionary aviation icon like the A380? While the world was dazzled by the image of a massive double-decker aircraft with cabin space as luxurious as a 5-star hotel, Boeing offered a cold, ruthlessly calculated prediction. The future did not belong to megahubs or layover flights. They foresaw the fragmentation of passenger traffic, where direct flights would reign supreme. Twin-engine aircraft, more fuel-efficient, flexible, and lighter, would become the dominant force. This wasn't just a technological contest, but a clash between two visions of aviation's future. And, in the world's most cutthroat market, North America, Boeing was right. The first reason lies at the core of every airline: financial efficiency. With 4 engines, the A380 burned more fuel, incurred higher maintenance costs, and filling 550 seats was a dangerous gamble. At a time when U.S. carriers were drowning in crises, bankruptcies, and restructurings, no executive wanted to tie their company's fate to a luxurious yet risky machine. The second reason is infrastructure, a double-edged sword. With its Code F size, the A380 forced airports to expand taxiways, reinforce jet bridges, and even build entirely new terminals. But unlike airports in Asia or the Middle East, most U.S. airport infrastructure was already saturated, making renovations difficult and costly. Only a few airports like JFK or LAX could accommodate the A380, and even they had to spend hundreds of millions of dollars to adapt. O'Hare International Airport has virtually never stood a chance. The final barrier, and the ultimate deal breaker, was the fragmented U.S. route network. American carriers didn't concentrate their operations around a single mega hub like Dubai. Instead, they spread traffic across multiple regional hubs. Continental split between Newark and Houston, Northwest operated from Detroit to Minneapolis, and U.S. Airways divided traffic between Philadelphia and Charlotte. No single route had the volume to justify deploying an A380. Their operational model and the jumbo jet's logic belong to two entirely different worlds. Many wonder, if the A380 was so impractical, how did Emirates turn it into a roaring success? The answer lies in a fundamentally different operating environment. Emirates built an empire centered around Dubai, a golden crossroads between East and West. From there, a single flight can reach nearly every global megacity. Dubai Airport was designed as a stage built for the jumbo jet. Terminal 3 features 20 dedicated gates, no night curfews, and round-the-clock operations. Most importantly, Emirates enjoys state backing, a luxury no U.S. carrier could even dream of during an era of public budget cuts. With 123 jumbo jets, Emirates didn't just operate the aircraft, they turned it into a brand statement. From there, a truth gradually emerged. The Airbus jumbo jet was not a design mistake, it was a dream born into a world that arrived at the wrong time. The American carriers didn't reject it due to a lack of vision, but because their ecosystems had never been compatible with the structure that the A380 required. Each airline looked at its own data, and all came to the same conclusion. This jumbo jet wasn't meant for them. But hang on, thanks for staying with us. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and share it with your friends. Join us on this journey and be the first to catch our latest updates. By 2019, the A380 dream officially faded. Airbus announced it would end production. Airlines rushed to retire the type. The second-hand market collapsed. Then the COVID-19 pandemic hit, the final blow. 90% of the jumbo jet fleet was grounded. The rest sat rusting under the hot sun, unwanted and unneeded. The once expected total of over 1,200 aircraft. In the end, only 251 were built. What killed this icon? The 2008 financial crisis made airlines more risk-averse. Twin-engine aircraft became increasingly capable of flying farther and more efficiently. Extended ETOPS certifications allowed them to replace four-engine jets. Airports, instead of being congested, became more efficient thanks to new technologies. Secondary airports rose in importance, and one quiet but powerful force must be acknowledged: local politics. Expansion projects were delayed or blocked, pushing Airbus's vision further from reality. A 380 was a design ahead of its time, but sadly, that time never truly came as expected. As the global aviation industry struggled through a crisis, every effort was channeled toward one goal: cutting costs. In that context, the A380, with its massive size and high operating costs, became completely out of place. It was seen as a burden, a symbol of a bygone era of luxury in a time demanding fuel savings down to the last drop. But then, a paradox emerged. When travel rebounded sharply after the pandemic, airlines were faced with the opposite problem: capacity. Passengers returned faster than anyone predicted, while new aircraft deliveries were delayed due to supply chain disruptions. Under that pressure, the Airbus jumbo jet, once thought to be a relic of the past, made a surprising comeback. British Airways returned its entire A380 fleet to the skies. Qantas accelerated its reactivation plans, and most surprisingly, Lufthansa, which had previously declared the aircraft retired, reversed its decision. Still, the return of the A380 is not a sign of a new era. It is not the future of aviation, but a temporary fix to an immediate problem: seat shortages. This resurgence isn't driven by long-term vision, but by short-term necessity. But the question remains, if global aviation is expected to continue growing, even doubling by 2040, and as environmental concerns increasingly tighten the ability to expand airports, was the jumbo jet truly a mistake, or was it simply an idea born too early, a leap ahead of its time? After consolidating into mega carriers like Delta, United, and American, the U.S. aviation industry has remained faithful to its core philosophy: simplicity, flexibility, and efficiency. They don't need an icon. They need aircraft that can be filled quickly and expand markets wisely. The 787 Dreamliner and A350 have become the backbone of transcontinental fleets. Thanks to these aircraft, routes once deemed unviable for large jets, such as San Francisco-Singapore, Dallas-Auckland, or Atlanta-Johannesburg, have become a reality. The U.S. carrier's rejection of the jumbo jet didn't stem from short-sightedness. It was a rational decision from a strategic and financial standpoint. Rather than chasing grandeur, they built fleets aligned with fragmented networks and the unique demands of the domestic market, a consistent philosophy that has endured for decades. Every era of aviation has its own icon. The DC-3 brought passengers closer to the dream of commercial flight. The 747 made transoceanic travel commonplace. Concorde reached the threshold of supersonic speed. And the A380, though not a commercial success, became a symbol of technological ambition. It was Airbus's bold declaration that limits are meant to be broken. Aerodynamics, lightweight materials, and integrated systems all were pushed to new heights. This jumbo jet forced airports to evolve. It redefined infrastructure standards and unlocked passenger experiences never seen before. In a world where flying increasingly resembles riding a bus, the A380 serves as a reminder that aviation can still amaze, still stir emotions, and still inspire. U.S. carriers may have turned their backs on the A380, but its legacy is undeniable. The innovations it introduced have flowed into newer aircraft like the A350. It still lives on, quietly but persistently. And for the lucky passengers who still get to fly on it today, the huge aircraft offers something different, a fleeting glimpse of what might have been the future. What do you think? Share your thoughts with us. Thanks for being here. Wishing you safe and enjoyable flights.